Being a wedding DJ isn't just about playing music, it's about throwing the best party possible. But mistakes happen, and some of them can kill the vibe or leave the couple disappointed. Most of these mistakes are small, but can blow up fast if you're not careful. In this video, we're gonna be talking about the most common DJ mistakes and how you can make sure you don't screw up your next wedding. Let's start with how you talk on the microphone. Too many DJs stick with phrases like bride and groom or ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not trying to shit on you if you say these things on the mic, but it just sounds super basic.
You're basic.
Almost like you're reading the same script you do at every single wedding. Guests are gonna respond better to someone who sounds real on the mic. They don't want a game show host or some announcer at the Super Bowl. They want an MC that they can connect with and help them have a great time at the wedding. And I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of stuffy black tie weddings where everyone's acting super serious like it's the damn Oscars. These are normal people just like you and me. So be yourself, show some personality, and let the couple know that you actually care about them and their wedding. For example, saying, "Let's give it up for Emily and Ryan" is a lot more personal than saying, "Let's hear it for the bride and groom." And I totally get why DJs fall into this habit. It's easy. It's one less thing you could screw up at the wedding, like accidentally calling the bride by the wrong name in front of everybody. But by using their names, you're immediately setting yourself apart as a DJ who goes the extra mile. Now for me, I don't say bride and groom at weddings, but I know a lot of really talented DJs who do, and they make a really good point. This is the only time in their life that they can be called the bride. So you should at least call them that from time to time, and I think that's cool. But if you're constantly saying bride and groom, bride and groom, bride and groom all night long, I don't know, it just sounds like you don't give a shit and you're taking the easy way out. And one more thing about this before we go to our next thing is that if you're ever doing a same-sex wedding and you get into the habit of saying bride and groom in every sentence, you're just asking for trouble. Like, these people are paying you thousands and thousands of dollars. The least you could do is learn their damn names. I don't know. You can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. We're gonna move on to what DJing is all about: the music. Now, when you're DJing a wedding, you're gonna have people across a ton of different age groups. About half the guests are gonna be around the couple's age, and the other half is family, like 20 or 30 years older than the couple. And one mistake I see a ton of DJs make is that they focus their music too much on the older crowd, especially in their opening set. I get it, you wanna play older songs first because you know the older guests, they're more likely to leave early, and you wanna try and get them on the dance floor before they dip. I totally get it. But if you're starting your set with a ton of disco, Motown, classic rock, all that shit for the first hour of the night, do you really think the bride's friends are gonna still be on the dance floor? They might. Sometimes younger crowds are super into that stuff, but it's 2025. These songs are 20 or 30 years older than the bride and her friends. When they go out to the club, they're not listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire all night. They're listening to music from this century. That's what they like to dance to. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't play any older songs at all. There are some great songs that everyone knows, like I Wanna Dance with Somebody or Dancing Queen. What I'm saying is you gotta find more balance in the songs that you're playing and not front load all the old songs in the beginning of the party. If you're only focusing on the older crowd, the couple's friends might dance a little bit, but they're gonna end up going to the bar, go to the patio. They're just gonna leave the dance floor because you're not playing music for them. So they're gonna do their own thing. And once it hits 9 p.m. or whenever old people's bedtime is, they're gonna leave even if you're playing their favorite song. But you already f***ed up. You already isolated the younger crowd from the dance floor. They're hanging out with their friends and they're not even paying attention to the music you're playing. And now you gotta build the dance floor from scratch. And that sucks. You didn't build any trust with the younger crowd and they think you're just gonna play old music all night long. So you gotta balance out the music choices and make it match the crowd that you're playing for. If you got a 50-50 crowd that's half older and half younger, then make the beginning of your set 50-50, half older music and half newer music. And as the night goes on, focus more on the songs that the couple and their friends are actually gonna know, because at the end of the night, that is who's gonna be on the dance floor. Now, this next thing is something that I hear a lot of wedding planners and photographers complain about, and it's a DJ going rogue. Now, imagine you're a photographer and you're taking some quick photos of the cake, or you're in the back room changing out your lens. And then all of a sudden, you hear off into the distance, "It's time for Emily and Ryan to share their first dance."
Oh, shit.
You're not even in the room and the DJ started the first dance without you. You don't have your lights set up, your camera is in pieces, and you have about 2 minutes until the first dance ends. You run out there and you catch the last 30 seconds of the dance and you take photos as fast as you can. And because you're in a rush, the photos turn out like shit. And it's all the DJ's fault because they didn't make sure the photographer was ready for one of the most important moments of the wedding. And this is one reason why a lot of vendors simply hate DJs and don't respect them. A lot of DJs don't communicate with the rest of the vendor team and just do whatever they want, whenever they want. Sure, maybe you're ready for the cake cutting, but the planner isn't. Photography's not ready. Hell, even the catering team, they're the one who's gonna be cutting all the cake for everyone. They're not even ready for this. Think of all the vendors at the wedding like it's the Super Bowl. You got the planner, they're the head coach. They're calling all the plays, deciding what routes you're gonna run. The DJ is the quarterback. Nothing starts until you hike the ball and announce the first dance. Before the play, you get all your teammates together in a huddle and tell them what the game plan is. Now, the photographer is your wide receiver. When you start the play, you throw them the ball, and you're only gonna score if you give them a good pass. Now, if you're a rogue quarterback, you ignore the head coach, you go out into the field all by yourself, you hike the ball, you launch a Hail Mary into the end zone with no one to catch it, you're gonna lose the game. So just check on your vendor team before you do anything. You'd be surprised how thankful your photographer will be just by letting them know that you got their back. And if you're still here, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Somehow only 5% of you guys are subscribed to the channel, so hit the sub button below. It helps a ton. Thank you guys. All right, the next mistake is something that a lot of DJs make, especially when you're first starting out. The second you walk into the wedding, people are judging you. How you look, how your setup looks, and even how you hold yourself. Perception is everything, especially at a wedding. And if your setup looks like shit, people are gonna assume you're a shit DJ. If you show up to the wedding in jeans and an Eagles jersey, not only does it tell people that you have bad taste, it tells everyone that you're not professional and you don't care about the wedding. If you look lazy, people assume you mix lazy. First impressions matter a ton, and that impression can make or break how the night goes and how people treat you. So you gotta match the aesthetic. If people are wearing a suit and tie, you should also wear a suit and tie. If you're DJing a super high-class wedding with beautiful flowers, nice decor, and your DJ booth looks like the clearance aisle at Best Buy, you're ruining the aesthetic. And these couples spent way too much money on their wedding just for you to ruin it with all your cables hanging all over the place. Now I get it. DJ gear is expensive. But honestly, if you're charging over $500 to DJ a wedding, the least you could do is cover your cables and get a Facade. I even found a super cheap one on Amazon for like 80 bucks. I'll put it down in the description if you guys want to check it out. Because at the end of the day, weddings are all about perception. Wedding planners are all about making the wedding look good. That's literally their job. That's why DJs always get shoved in the corner while the cake gets the prime spot. So if you and your setup look clean, planners are more likely to give you that prime spot. Suddenly you're in front of the dance floor where you belong and not shoved in the corner like an afterthought. And that's a huge win for you because now you can actually read the crowd and be a part of the party. All right, let's jump back and talk a little bit about emceeing during the party, because this is one of those things where DJs either do way too much or absolutely nothing. Now for me, I rarely jump on the mic during the party, but sometimes you have to. Like if the party just started and people aren't really dancing. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get people on the dance floor if you just tell them to. Now you shouldn't yell at them to come out to the dance floor, but you can guilt trip them a little bit. We're here to celebrate with Emily and Ryan. I need all my people on the dance floor right now so we can get this party started. Combo that with playing a great song and you'd be surprised how that pulls people in. So don't be afraid to jump on the mic from time to time. Now on the opposite side, you got the DJ Khaled wannabes. These guys are on the mic yelling, "Put your hands up," over and over and over again over every single song. You're just doing too much, bro. The wedding's not about you. So take your mic and shut. But seriously, you gotta find that balance when it comes to emceeing, because the key is knowing when it's time to hype up the crowd and when it's time to shut up. And this can be subjective because there's a lot of great MCs out there. If emceeing is your strong suit, lean into it, but try not to overdo it to the point where you're making someone else's wedding about you. And if you're like me and you hate talking on the mic during the party, let the music do the talking for you and only jump on the mic when you really need to or when it adds something valuable to the wedding. Now, the next thing is probably one of the easiest ways that you can kill your dance floor. Playing songs either way too long or cutting them off too early. The last thing people want at a party is hearing their favorite song, they get super hype on the dance floor, and then the DJ just cuts it off and moves on to the next song. Not only did you just waste a song that the crowd really liked, but you're about to piss a lot of people off. And on the opposite side, you play a song and it's just okay, people are moving, but it's not like they love it or anything. And then you play the second verse, and then the third verse, and the fourth. Okay, we get it. Move on! And all of this comes down to crowd reading. You gotta pay attention to the people right in front of you. They'll literally tell you everything you need to know. If people are jumping and singing and throwing their hands up, you gotta let the song breathe and give them more of what they want. And the last thing I'll say about this is that you don't have to mix every single song. What really pisses people off is when you play a great song that everyone knows, but it's like a shitty remix you found on SoundCloud. A lot of people just want to hear the song in its original form. Unless it's the EDM crowd, then ignore everything I just said. Play all the remixes you want. But for most weddings, sure, 1 or 2 remixes is cool, but you gotta make sure that the remix actually makes the song that much better. There's nothing worse than a crowd getting super hyped for a song only to realize that it's some weird remix and it only has half the energy that the original had. You gotta give the crowd the hits that they want, and when you do drop a remix, just make sure it's worth it. And I think that's 6 things that can ruin a wedding. If there's anything I missed, make sure to let me know in the comments, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.